Good morning, Bucknutters. It's Tuesday, July 8th, 2014. This is the Bucknuts Morning 5. I'm Dan Rubin. Got a great show planned for you today. We're going to touch on one of the subjects we've had as a kind of a recurring theme here on the Bucknuts Morning 5, and that's the top 3 recruits left on the board for Ohio State, and that includes the classes of 2015 and 2016. We're going to talk about Aaron Kraft and his quest to make the Philadelphia 76ers, or an NBA team at all for that matter. Check in on how he's done in the Summer League down in Orlando. And of course, we've got to go out to the opening and check out what kind of work Justin Hilliard and Jashon Cornell are doing on the recruiting end for Urban Meyer & Co. as the best gather in Beaverton, Oregon for the opening. We've also got a great boarding house for you today, so sit back, enjoy the Morning 5. Okay, we're venturing into the land of opinion here a little bit, but we always like to take a look at the recruiting board and update it after there have been some big commitments and see who Ohio State should be focused on the most right now in recruiting. Of course, this is basically my opinion, put together with, expert information from our recruiting guys out in the field. I was really clear about this for a long period of time. If you combine the 15 and 16 classes, I still think the number one recruit on the board was Justin Hilliard. So once that domino fell, where do we go from here? The number 3 spot, I have a tie, and that's between Neville Gallimore, and Christian Wilkins. And this is because I think we need a big defensive tackle. If I'm looking at the roster right now, with the way the defensive line has played and the accolades they're getting, we're not quite sure who will be back. I think you always need that plugger in the middle. There's not a classic one on the roster right now that's gotten a lot of playing time. There are guys with a lot of potential, but that's a position I think they need filled. So either Gallimore or Wilkins. In the number 2 spot, I'm going down to the class of 2016 for another tie. I think they need both these guys, Liam Eichenberg and Tommy Kramer, 2 offensive linemen in the class of 2016 that are going to be in everybody's top 15 rankings in the country, I think. If not, these guys will be ranked among the top tackles in the country. They already are in the 247 Sports Composite. There's been some disturbing news lately about Eichenberg as he goes on his visits, but there's also a chance that he's just a kid that gets to the visits and gets impressed, and Ohio State will get their chance to talk to him, obviously. Kramer, another stud out of Cincinnati. You rarely get 2 offensive linemen of this ilk in the same class in one state, and because it's Ohio, it's very important to lock that down. All right, number 1 on the list has not changed. The class of 2016 quarterback that is signed to me is the most important recruit out there. That is Dwayne Haskins out of Bullis in Maryland. There's also Juwan Pass and several others that the Buckeyes could be looking at. The reason I think this is the most important spot is if you look at the depth chart and play it out. This is the player who I think they have scheduled to take over for J.T. Barrett after 3 years as a starter. Yes, injuries could play a role in that, and nothing is certain. But if you look at the way the depth chart plays out, there's a very good chance this is the quarterback of the future that's not on the roster. Anytime you're talking quarterback of the future, you're talking an important recruit. The recruitment of Dwayne Haskins is vital. Okay, the pictures and the tweet pics are all starting to roll in. It does look like Justin Hilliard and Jashon Cornell are doing work out at the opening. For those of you that were on the boards yesterday, you know that coincidentally Damian Harris and Justin Hilliard were on the same flight out to Oregon. To me, that's called good luck. There's pictures of them hanging with Harris and Neville Gallimore, the aforementioned Canadian stud in the middle who's over 300 pounds. I'll be very interested to know when the recruitment of Justin Hilliard and Jashon Cornell are looked back on and we get some of that inside information that comes out later in the game. I'll be really interested to know how much, I don't want to say pressure, but let's just say influence Urban Meyer and his staff had on when Justin Hilliard and Jashon Cornell committed, given that the opening was coming up right after that and these guys are going to be the rainmakers of the class. I'll bet that was a discussion that was had many a time as to when they would recruit and how they could maximize it for the Buckeyes recruiting class. Switching quickly to the hardwood, Aaron Kraft is attempting to make the NBA via the Philadelphia 76ers Summer League team. They've played 2 games already, and Kraft has already gotten a break. Unfortunately, Pierre Jackson, the little guard out of Baylor from a couple years ago, was projected to be the backup point guard for the 76ers in the Summer League. He is injured and out, so Kraft has taken over as the prime backup point guard to Casper Ware. Very good opportunity for Kraft. There are a lot of guys who get invited to Summer League and don't get any burn at all. He's getting about 10 minutes a game and playing his traditional defense. Hasn't really gotten to the groove offensively yet. If you want to check him out for yourself, I suggest it tonight at 7 p.m. on NBA TV. Again, that's tonight, 7 p.m., NBA TV. Very interesting matchup. I think Kraft, if you look at the box score, could get matched up against Chris Kramer from Purdue, a guy who's been overseas for a while and is trying to still make it in the NBA. So Chris Kramer and Aaron Craft on the same court going up against each other leads me to believe that blood may be spilled. Keep it locked in here all day, Bucknutters. Got a great day planned for you. Go Bucks.